welcome back to
The Zak
and Buzz
Review.
So, we went to the cinema to go and see Immaculate. Fun fact, this was an unlimited exclusive screening, so just because we're unlimited members, it means we got to see it before everyone else.
That's it.
There we are.
Should
what
we
think?
Should we cross ourselves before doing this one? Yeah.
The power of Christ, possibly?
The power of Christ compels you to
wrong.
maybe or maybe not watch this movie. Okay.
It's an interesting one because it reminded me a lot of other things in the way it was presented. It was very much Catholic misery.
Yeah, okay, let's go for that. If you like, and I'll say it, if you like a heap load of Catholic misery dumped in with a storyline like Rosemary's Baby, and then topped off with a huge amount of screaming, blood and squelchiness, as if you're watching a very bad, or possibly very good, depending on if you like it or not, Call the Midwife episode. So, yeah.
Maybe we should describe the story. So it initially starts out at this convent in Italy, where somebody's deciding to escape.
They're trying to escape.
However, it is a failed escape. They get their leg broken by some
tough, beefy nuns.
Freaky nuns with red.
They got the red masks
on. Then she wakes up in a box, and she's obviously been buried alive.
Dun dun dun.
Cut to the.
With lots of screaming.
Cut to the protagonist, who we're going to follow, who is Sydney Sweeney,
who's becoming a nun.
Who, in this, actually does a better job.
Which means she's a novice.
Than her portrayal of the character in Madam Web.
All right. Oh, you've seen that twice. He saw it twice.
I know.
God, you can poke fun at him for seeing it twice, Madam Web.
To be fair, I would probably prefer to see Immaculate twice compared to Madam
really?
Web.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to add some perspective there.
Right.
She does a pretty good job of carrying this story, to be honest, as kind of the person who's obviously duped into joining this kind of convent.
Well, she's not,
and is locked away from everyone else.
I wouldn't say she's duped. I mean, she's obviously decided to become a novice. Mm-hmm. She takes her vows and becomes a nun.
Yeah.
And we don't know, but behind the scenes, she's kind of been.
She's been
guided
in this way. She has been selected for this.
What was groomed? There you go. There's a 21st century term. She's been groomed.
Anyway. So she then mysteriously falls pregnant.
Dun, dun, it's the Immaculate Conception.
It's the second coming of Jesus.
Or Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, Space Jesus.
Or
Paul Atreides.
Or Rosemary's Baby.
Anyway.
Which, by the end, I think it was Rosemary's Baby.
So, she's suddenly pregnant, and that kind of adds a lot of...
How does this happen?
Added threat to the story, because going through kind of the pregnancy, almost, everyone else doesn't really seem to care about her. Some people even hate her and try to kill her.
One particular nun that takes a dislike to her from day one.
Yeah. It's all about the kid. It's all about the baby, not her. Yeah. And it's a very weird kind of atmosphere to be in.
It's all like, is the baby okay? Oh, we don't care about you so much.
So after the murder attempt from this other nun, that nun is obviously dealt with, and then she ends up jumping off a roof and smashing her face in, which is really kind of very brutal. And then
physical effects.
She herself and her friend kind of kicks up a fuss saying, you're a bit weird and everything.
Well, that's because her friend has no idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
Neither does she.
No, at this point.
But because her friend thinks that she's in a Catholic, convent.
Yeah.
She, says her mind, doesn't she?
Yeah.
But she doesn't know that there's more going on, and that means doom and disaster for her.
So her friend suddenly gets whisked away. She then...
Don't say everything.
Don't say everything, but it doesn't necessarily work out very well for her.
Kind of a bit gruesome, you could say.
Yes. And then she's like, okay, I've had enough of this. So she fakes certain things to kind of escape.
Oh yeah, she can't get out because she wants to go to a proper hospital. She doesn't trust the doctor that is the only physician that she is seeing in the convent. And she says that by now, because that's it, because like you watch movies and sometimes they have like chapters, don't they?
Yeah.
And I love the chapters in this because the chapters come up and it's the first trimester, the second trimester. That's the chapter titles. It's brilliant.
Yes.
And she wants to go to a proper hospital because of course she wants to go to a proper. She wants to know she's getting preeclampsia or anything like that. But they won't let her go.
No.
They won't let her go. But then she comes up with an idea, which, if you've been watching carefully, you go, I know what this is, and lo and behold, it's another one of those moments that we always like to say that we
saw that
coming. But anyway, she manages to get out. But
it unfortunately unravels and she's whisked straight back.
And then lots of screaming starts.
Yes, yes.
And then followed by a whole dollop more of screaming.
It suddenly hits that point in the movie where she's had enough.
Yep.
And
she's going to take revenge.
Instead of being the kind of helpless victim, she suddenly takes it upon herself to get revenge on the people that put her in this situation.
It's got that kind of evil mastermind moment where the evil mastermind, like with somebody like James Bond or something like, tells them their whole plot of what they're up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is for the benefit of the viewer, really. So the evil mastermind tells her what the whole plot is, and from that moment on, she is going to get a revenge.
Yeah. I don't know how much we really
with
want
a box of matches and a rusty nail.
Because I'm not sure how much we want to give away in this, or can we really go into the specifics? It's been out long enough now that people have probably seen it. If they're gonna watch it.
So I would say that it revolves around a rusty nail, which
that is supposedly from
the
crucifixion of Christ, and through genetic
they have found
kind of reconstruction
fractions of tissue and blood and bone attached to the nail.
To basically,
so they've been gene splicing.
They've been putting. They've been essentially
trying, like Alien Resurrection.
To
try and impregnate nuns.
Yeah, with the new Jesus.
With the new Jesus strain, and and she's lucky enough to be the latest
chosen one,
the latest chosen one,
which you don't really want to be.
Which is why that other one got really peed off
because it was supposed to be me.
Threw herself off a roof because she wanted to be her. And we're never told why they didn't use her, but there you go.
Maybe they did and it didn't work. Because that is a thing. Because that is one of the revelations. This isn't the first time. This has happened countless other times before this.
That's it. I told you, Alien Resurrection.
Every single one has been a failure up until this
point. They've probably
point.
got a whole room of them in giant test tubes.
Well, they do. You didn't watch the movie.
Yeah, I did. But I'm talking about like in Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
You know, like,
well, they did look like that.
Yeah, they did look like that.
From what you did see.
But don't worry, she takes her revenge.
She takes her revenge, but the bad, evil genetic scientist, doctor, priest man isn't going down without a fight. Right. So she has
into the place we have been mentioned before at the beginning of the movie. Nobody goes into the catacombs.
It is forbidden.
It is forbidden. We're going to tell you that now because that's going to come into use later on in the movie.
So she's in the catacombs being pursued by this priest who's after her, who's after the baby, and
then
essentially
she's just about
to escape.
She sees the light, literally at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
I've seen the light. Oh, there goes Jonesy.
And then he suddenly pops out of nowhere, half burnt and scarred, and
you're mine.
Tries cutting the baby out, and it's all like
he's got a scalpel and he's going for it. It's the cesarean section that you really don't want to see.
Yeah,
but she fumbles in. She hasn't got pockets in her nightrobe though. I don't know. Anyway, she had.
It's dark, okay.
She had concealed about her person somewhere
the nail
of Christ, which she then jams into his neck, and that's more blood because we've had loads of blood already, and loads of blood, and water's breaking, and more blood, and screaming,
going wrong,
and screaming, and more screaming, and then we have an exit.
Yes,
very reminiscent.
She's escaped.
Very reminiscent of
The Descent.
And suddenly, the baby wants to come into the world. Cue Even more screaming!
For like consistently for like a
I'm
good
telling
few
you,
minutes.
I'm telling you, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you've never been on a film set, that actress, bless her, must have been on her knees, right up to the camera, doing the screaming of giving birth, which went on and on and on. And I bet you when she finished, all the crew gave her a big round of applause.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she did well. And then it's that. And then it's instead of.
Is that your baby impression?
This baby, I don't know. It's been a long time since I was a baby. Anyway, instead of getting that, it's more.
Because it's obviously one of these. It's yet another failure of these mutant baby things.
It sounded like the bloke from RoboCop who goes into the toxic waste.
Hell yeah, it did.
But don't worry.
You do see a bit of a blurry image of it in the background.
Don't worry, she is still determined because she is a nun. She is there for Christ.
Is she still gonna love it despite its imperfections?
No.
Or is she's
gonna get a dirty, great big rock and finish it once and for all.
And we are not joking about it.
Yes.
So that's where the movie ends.
And that's
she kills the mutant Christ baby.
Mutant Christ baby.
The movie.
The movie. Yeah.
As horror movie, it was more of a suspense thriller than necessarily a horror movie. It was quite horrific in parts, but I wouldn't say it was a straight horror movie.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, if 1 is a spiky Solis belt that a monk might wear around his waist to pierce...
How do you know these things?
Because that's what Catholic monks do. To pierce his flesh and cause him pain and anguish, all the way up to 10 Hail Marys where you have been absolved of all your sins and everything is golden and wonderful. Whereabouts are we talking on this?
Okay. I'm going to base this upon my other viewings of horror movies recently.
Okay.
Like Imaginary. I would potentially say this was a bit more... I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's a bit more kind of like...
Oh, I want to know.
Yeah.
Come on.
What's the word?
I have no idea.
Like... It got me.
If you know what the word is, put it in the comments.
More encouraged by it. I was rooting for her more than in Imaginary.
Yeah, Imaginary.
People in that. I thought Imaginary was good, but I think I was a bit more like behind.
Yeah.
The nun person in
this. This was a little bit. I mean, lots of blood, lots of screaming.
Yeah, you could really like empathise with the character more.
But you know, I don't know if it's one that I would bother particularly returning to.
Interesting. I was gonna go. Okay. I'm going to go with a 7.
7 Hail Marys.
Well, I thought 10 was 10 Hail Marys.
Yeah, 10 Hail Marys means you were absolved of all your sins and the light is beaming on you because it's so wonderful.
I mean, I can see a light beaming on me right now.
But you're going 7.
Yeah, I'm going 7.
You're going 7. I'm going to give it a 5. Ooh. I'm going to give it a 5. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was somewhere in the middle. It wasn't pants. So.
I unlike you, I'd probably watch it again. So I would watch it again.
Yeah, maybe it's that 5 Hail Marys and slap yourself with a couple of.
Or is it like Monty Python where they hit themselves in the face with balls?
That's it. Bang. That's it. So anyway, 5 from me.
Immaculate. If you want to go see it, definitely do. Otherwise, you could possibly wait for it to come out.
Yeah, if you're really into Call the Midwife and you love the sloppy, horrible birth bits, it's a movie for you. All right, that's all I can say.
I mean, this is one of those mainstream horror movies that is undoubtedly going to go onto most streaming services nowadays. Whereas I'm kind of more drawn to like really obscure horror.
Yeah.
Personally.
I don't think this does any great advertising for the Catholic religion at all.
No, because I wonder how well received this is at the Vatican.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be too impressed with it. And there we go. So that's our roundup.
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see.
Catch you in the next episode. Okay. That's it. Follow the gourd.